Namaskar. I'm Kumar Rakesh and you're watching Global Governance News TV. Today, we're going to discuss about the Muslim politics in India. And as we know, and from 10th of February, the assembly election is going to be held in 5 states. So, now minority politics and Muslim politics is going to be highlighted in this election, and how the Muslim uh, is factor in an election. So, and earlier we have seen the result of assembly elections in West Bengal, Assam, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, and earlier Delhi offer insights into the fresh churning in Muslim politics in India, owing to the perpetuation of the Hindu politics when the Mr. Owaisi, as he is a member of parliament also from Hyderabad, won 5 seats in Bihar assembly elections. And some secular voices interpreted it as a reflection of the party's growing national footprint. But I don't agree with these facts. Whatever they done in the Bihar, but they have totally failed with the 0.2% votes in West Bengal and other states, and Tamil Nadu and Kerala and all. So somebody said thinks on that this is threat to Indian secularism, but the Indian secularism also not a, uh phenomena and for the country, and the new trend of the Muslim voting for the Muslim parties or post-partition India has been totally changed. And what is vote percentage, if you see, and how this going on historically, this is also a fact. And the in the years of independence, the passing of, especially after the passing of leaders of the freedom movement, the contours of Muslim politics change from the secular and nationalistic to the largely parochial and conservative. But something is different, and diverse types of leadership then emerged. And the progressive Muslims, as new words have been coined, but that is already used and misused by the some so-called politician, just like Salman Khurshid, like the politician who claimed to be the lawyer and author. But I don't think he's a nationalist person of the country, although he was a minister also in the last Congress government. And recently, what he had um, written the book, that is also a just I think that you can see the state of mind of the concerned writer and author. So there is so many issues are there, and so many movements are included and attached with the Muslim politics. And if you see the states affairs, so in India, according to 2011 census, the in UP, there 19.3% are Muslim, and West Bengal is 27%, and Bihar 60.9%, and the most largest Jammu Kashmir and Lakshadweep. And Jammu Kashmir, Lakshadweep is more than 93%, and Jammu Kashmir is about 96%, whatever they claim, and Assam in 35%, and Kerala 27.7%. According to mixed data, 9 states of the country where the Muslim are dominant and Muslim votes are dominant. Why and how, that is also a matter of concern, and how just Muslim politics is going to affect the more than about 50% seats of the Indian polity. And if you see the uh, population and the impact, and recently some Maulana just started creating the mode of anti-national um, uh, moment in country also. So how just you define the role of Muslim in Indian politics, and how just you see comparative to the other states? We have Vandana Jinganji from the senior journalist from Chicago, USA. Welcome, Vandana ji. And Alok Laharji from Spain, also senior journalist, research scholar. So I start from today. Alok ji, how just you see the impact of the Muslim vote and Indian political system and election? And then now the election are at hand. From the 10th February, election is going to be held in the fifth state, and UP is the number one biggest state of the country. So, and so many statements are coming on, uh, delegations are also on. So how do you analyze the situation? Do you think that now Muslim will vote to BJP also?
Good evening, Kumara KG and Vannaji, and also our viewers. Muslim votes, like I don't like the concept at all because as a true Democrat and a secular person, I think we should not be voting. This should not be the voting pattern. Like you, in fact, I think there should be a verdict by the Supreme Court in which they say that anyone who is trying to, lure people into voting not by the manifesto or the charter which you come up with on your political whatever manifesto you have, or you want to make certain promises, but on the basis of let's say religion or caste, then yeah, the election commission and the Supreme Court should take actions against them. So that is one thing, but unfortunately in India, ever since 47, uh, this Muslim card and Muslim appeasement has been, one of the major things which have always influenced the politics. And ever since the independence, we did not have any party which was, a conservative party. But now, because of this appeasement over the years, then with the formation of Janata Party and then the upcoming of the Bharatiya Janata Party, then they had to look for an ideology, and it just turned out that they wanted to do away with the appeasement. So in case you want to do away with the appeasement, in case you make a majority party, then obviously the minority vote, it becomes irrelevant. So that is the whole concept of this conservative party coming up, and which was not the case in India. And even though we call it the conservative party, it is more left to center than right to the center. In spite of the fact that it's always called, the right wing party and all that, I don't see all the things. If you analyze what BJP is doing, the development work it is doing, and the nationalist spirit and all that, it's more of what the left parties do than they do. But unfortunately, like what is going to happen is they have always tried to play this minority card, and most of the political parties in the past have been doing it, and they continue to do this. And not only this, then there is this Dalit card. So basically what you're doing is, when you are earmarking certain group by the name of let's say Muslim or the Dalits, or then you're subdividing the majority as if within the caste, it could be Yadavs, it could be Kshatriyas, Brahmins, or whatever. So actually what you're doing is you are dividing the country. So I think this should not be done. And
Become so low,
changes that
Alokji.
the,
Your voice
election
becomes so low.
commission, and there should be a rule that this, you cannot go up and
We lost your voice,
just talk
Alokji.
about the minorities, and we will
Now
represent the
good, now good.
minorities. And what has happened? Has the upliftment of the minorities taken place in all this time for 75 years? What was the status of the Muslims? And Muslims, as per se, they are not the minorities. There are other religions which are the minorities. But what happens is, this is not even a Muslim, a minority thing. It's more of a vote bank politics, or a casteist politics, or a religion-based politics. And then they have the nerve to go up and criticize the Conservative Party in India, which is the BJP, to they come up with this idea that no, they are doing polarization of religion and all that. But all these years, what have you done? I'm talking about rest of the party. BJP is so many years old. It is not the oldest party in the world, and it is the biggest, of course. But
Okay.
then that is what is wrong. And what is going to happen in Uttar Pradesh, if we talk about that? And we can already see that Samajwadi Party, which is going to be the only party which probably would be challenging BJP to some level in the UP elections. I think they are again doing that, keeping in view that in the last elections in BJP there was not even a single minority candidate. and then need not be. I mean, why should a Muslim represent a Muslim? Why can't a Muslim represent the majority Hindu, or he cannot represent, or a Hindu cannot represent the Muslims? I don't understand this. In case we're talking about a secular nation, then these kind of things should not come up, but unfortunately they have been, and we see it again that again those cards are out. The Muslim, how many candidates are there? So if there are 48 candidates have been announced in the first place, then 8 are Muslims, and the other there are 7 are Muslims, and things like this. And even now the pressure is on by the minority group on BJP that at least 20% of the candidates should be Muslim. But I don't think it should work like this. Anybody who's good should be fielded. Any person, he can represent the
Your
majority or
question,
the minority.
Alokji, your question is so valid. Why Muslim thinks what Muslim, and why anybody, any party thinks Muslim should be taken care. As just we are just think and we claim ourselves we are nationalist person and a nationalist for the country. So why think the caste creed religion, Vandanaji? Why just thinking on
No, but
this
that is
line?
not secularism. Either you
Yeah,
calling your constitution you're secular,
that's problem. That you are right.
but
That's a
then you're
problem of
doing
the
whatever
country.
you feel like. So it is
So,
actually anti-constitutional in case somebody builds up a party which is, on the minority. It's a minority party. It cannot happen because then you are discriminating the others from joining it. This is not done. This is anti-constitutional, I think.
okay, Vandanaji, he just you just claiming Alok this is anti constitutional, but whatever they are doing and how the other political parties, one of Maulana Tawfiq Raja yesterday in Bareilly and make the international statement. Fiery speech, just instigating his speech to the youth. If you open the control to the youth, and then you can see the what happened in India and Bharat, how they destroy us. What does it mean? Why for? And 2020, just when the US president visited India, how they just behave, how the rights are there. Why and what for? Despite the all efforts by the present government and past government, whatever is there. So how can we see that this is a Muslim politics and Muslim vote should be just to be in the stream and mainstream one, and this type of the so-called leader should be in the control and the law and order. Bandanaji.
Namaskar. Interesting subject. On the eve of elections, which has been just around the corner, we started talking about 10th of February. I think then they'll have Achar Sanhita, which is like they will. So there is in India they have it like you cannot just do promotions or stuff like that. And this election is going to be different because due to Omicron, the variant which has been there, so not rallies and stuff like that. I agree with Alok Lahaji, what he said. First of all, people have to realize the nation which claims itself on the paper, on the documents, that this is a secular nation. And I always say the secular has really no meaning and it has become secular, SIs, because from all context, if you see. There is a political party I was just watching on a TV screen that day, which belongs to that Owaisi brothers,
Yeah.
and they were rolling down Alokji the list of the candidates. None other than one, none other than one in the UP. They had the person from this religion called Islam, Muslims. It's a shame. You are running for an office, you would be governing the in the governance, so what will you be delivering it? Isn't it shameful, to be honest? Like Prime Minister Modi is not a prime minister of Hindus only. We have seen it over a period of time. When you have been chosen by the people, you are for the whole nation. He is not only, again in the context to it, he is not the chief minister anymore of the state of Gujarat, because when he was CM, his main responsibility was to look into Gujarat. Then he ran for an office from, you call it Kashi, Varanasi, which is in Uttar Pradesh. That is his constituency. So then he is delivering as the member of parliament from there. But if you see that, is he only doing the development and the growth to Kashi, Varanasi? I have seen a stadium, and I am very very shocked about like why we are not portraying what was there yesterday, what is there today, because visuals do speak louder than any text that you read in the paper in today's time. Pictures speaks louder, and audio visual is more powerful. I'm talking about Leh Ladakh, how the youth used to play. They had no stadium earlier. Now they do have a stadium where they can play. Imagine the train station of Bhopal, what it was there before and what it is now. So, the train station, how it has been cleaned. And then you're talking about coming to Muslims in politics. How could that be that you would like someone from that particular religion? India really definitely needs, Bharat has a, it's an emergency requirement before even the election. They should stall the injection elections for some period of time. Let this be, this is not a democracy. This is a shame on democracy when you're saying, like, you are going to give this to Muslims. Why? This is the responsibility of the election commission to be very strong, impose it. If they can impose that should not be any rallies, equally they should be able to impose that there should not be any specific appeasements for one religion. Like, let this be Sanatan, let this be Islam or Christianity or cryptos or Sikh. I was just watching about the situation in Punjab. How, like, they say, oh, koi bahar wala Punjab mein rule nahi kar sakta. What is that mean? That itself is shameful. Bahar wala, kaun bahar wala? Ek raj means Punjab, or ek desh, one nation, that is India. What should I be not, why I should not be allowed if I move in there? We do have, I can very well imagine, like, we do have a policy here. If I want to run for an office, I should be living in that district. Means I can imagine.
Yeah, yeah.
But I am not outside. Tomorrow I'm living in the land of Lincoln in the state of Illinois. If I want to move and run for an office in the state of Texas, I have to be resident there for 6 months, and I have to have a house there. That's what, like, even if it is rented or owned, because everybody. So I should have a residential address that I'm a resident. I may have to change my driving license. So then I will be the resident of Texas. I'll be able to run for an office. I'll not be treated, oh, this Vandana Illinois, and she has come to Texas. So which is wrong? Which is absolutely
Yeah,
wrong.
yeah.
Who is an
So, so,
outsider?
there is also a question. Just I'll ask you after the break. How just despite the necessity of minority representation in democracy, the truth is that the Muslim politician essentially can't do much to better a lot of Muslim masses. Or other way, their claim just to blame the government. Their position and power within the mainstream political party is limited to getting the votes. With their own self-interest, insecurity, and likely inability to connect with the Muslim masses because of their just repeated failure of deliver, and then most of the irrelevant within the own parties. We have seen so many leaders, and then why do Muslim politicians represent? What is they do non-Muslim politician can't do? Why? Just as Alokji raised earlier. So after the break, we'll discuss on this issue also. Welcome to break. Just we are discussing the Vandanaji. Just as I just say before the break, the necessity of the minority representation democracy and the truth of the Muslim leadership politician is they can't do much better for the Muslim masses. and they are just claimed to be they are Muslim leaders. So why did they do just represent the area, and what should they do which non-Muslim person can't do? Are there issues that pertain to Muslim alone, which only a Muslim politician can address? Or would a non-Muslim be more effective in doing so? Why can't a Muslim politician regard as regular mainstream politician? Alok ji. And then I'll also take the answer from the Vandana ji.
No, the question is the same. Like, what has happened until now that in the name of becoming Muslim leaders and
Yeah,
growing a beard and putting up the skull cap, they have been cheating the Muslim majority of the Muslims who are working
yeah.
there. Now, what is the problem with the Muslims is that their education levels are very, very low. So they can be, you know, manipulated. And who comes into this manipulation? They are either the religious leaders they have, who will probably, on the Friday mass, they will come and tell them like, okay, now you have to vote for this particular party. Why are they doing this? They are doing it that because then the powerful people in the parties and the party leaders, they will go and ask for favors from these clergy people. Now, once that happens, obviously he becomes important because he is able to move the vote. So in a way, he's becoming an influencer. And no, he will not make those favors in favor of any political party for free. He will, something would have to be given to him. It could be, like either, okay, now we'll give you a salary for 10,000 or whatever, or we'll make some special building for the religious purposes and all that. So that is how then the government functions. But now the question is, are we actually developing the Muslim masses by this kind of politics? We are not. If the purpose was, in case when the division of India takes place, and there are two countries which are made especially for the Muslims, and in spite of that, they stay here, it was because they wanted a secular nation. But when you're talking about a secular nation, you cannot talk about then the minority commissions and stuff like this. Then everybody and anybody is the same. You cannot have, uh, uh, you know, equals within the equals. That theory does not work. So, what has happened over these years is that some kind of appeasement is done to certain leaders, but the majority of the Muslim masses, they have not been able to benefit from the benefits they should have got as a
Okay.
normal citizen of India. It could have been education, it could have been anything. And I think purposely they are thrown more into putting madrasas, or let's say more and more money is being put into setting up schools which are religious schools, so that they never get into the mainstream. And it is very unfortunate that every day they are more alienated, and they are never part of the mainstream. And that is because they were never allowed. And this all is the result of the vote politics and the appeasement. But it is not the Muslim appeasement, it is appeasement of certain people who can be considered the ठेकेदार्स. So that is the whole problem. That's the reason they're saying no, there should be so much representation. It should never be on, which this caste should be represented by so many candidates, or this religion should be, represented by so many candidates. Why should it be like this? Otherwise, you should do something like this in the constitution. You say that the house has so many people, and so many people of so many religious, these religious communities will be represented in the house. But that doesn't work like this. Or you go ahead and say that, okay, the people of this caste is so many, and then the people from this caste are so many, and we will in proportion to the number of people who comes from various castes, creeds, colors, or whatever it is there. But it doesn't work like this. In the democracy, it works that everybody is equal. But are we doing it like that? No, we are not. We are creating more
But
equals among the equals, and
Vandana ji,
that is anti-constitutional.
why they are not equal? Why they are treated as special? Why just other political parties excluding BJP appeasing them like anything? And
No,
what
no, but
about the,
that is simple. It is a vote bank politics. The
yeah,
only thing is that since education is not their forte, So they are advised by the clergy people. So once the clergyman says, go and vote for such and such party, they're going to do just because that gentleman said, because they think he is the representation of God. It is
Yeah.
not like this. It is not like this, and they don't get anything. This clergyman will get it, and some politician is going to get benefited out of
Okay,
this.
okay, Alokji, Vandanaji, just whatever Alokji is saying, that is also a reality. But my question is, why not the perception is going to be changed now? There's so many development work, and the education is just the education level is just growing, and the number of literacy in the Muslim area and Muslim dominated people are also is growing. I think as far as concerned for education is going uh, uh, in a very effective way. So do you don't think the education is a key to development of the Muslim community, and then the clergyman, whatever they're trying to claim, will not fulfill their ill wishes?
I'm going to start from little back. 1947. Why the partition happened? Partition happened from one nation to two nations on the basis of
Yeah,
religion. So they said the Muslims will go there, and Hindus will, and there was a lot of people, those who came from here to there, but few those who left from here to that side. And those who left, even they are not treated equally in the country, neighboring rogue nation, to be honest. They have been treated as muhajirs. And here, uh, see the scenario, we had the president as well as the vice president of that religion. I mean, Fakhruddin Ahmad ji and the other one who, after serving for 10 years, he feels unsafe in this nation. Everybody knows whose name I'm talking about. And we do recall Bollywood, the film industry of India, Maharashtra. So they started earlier. We all know what is the real name of Dilip Kumar ji, and he had to keep the name Dilip Kumar. But now it is who's ruling. They always say Khan
yeah.
brothers are ruling. Huh? So let's, and their films are more watched by, because if we just see the simple population of Bharat, who watches their films? So we never had thought that there is a difference. But now this polarization is going so much. And this is the result of giving them fishes again and again and again. And this is happening again. Somebody has to bell the cat. Let this be any party who is
That
not willing.
that
And
that's
see,
yeah.
yeah, this is going to be a tough decision, but this will be for the benefit of. In देखिए, there is a word called attitude of gratitude. We don't see that in this community. They are still cribbing, in spite of getting a special provisions. We never got any money because everybody is not affluent that they can afford to have the Chardham Yatra. Everybody is not affluent that they could go to Kailash. Going to Kailash itself is more than 2 lakhs of, 4 lakhs, 3 to 4 lakhs of Indian rupees business, to be honest. Like, it cost. I mean, not the business, because it cost. How many people can afford in one family? If you've been, I'm just simply talking. We never got any subsidy to travel, to go to our religious places. And for so many years, this religion had a subsidy to go to do the Hajj. And they always say, we will not be, means like, hamare mein haram hota hai. But jahan haram hai, if it is convenience, you accept it. So that is called how the leaders, means that is in the madrasas, where are they going? I'm not, means like, the education level and this and that. So this community has to realize that justice has not been done to them, even by the leaders, so-called those who claim themselves to be their leaders, their voice. If you see the lifestyle of Owaisi brothers, they have studied them. Their families have studied in UK. And how many, means like, in to whom they are addressing the population, the common man, because either they are doing sewing the clothes, or they are in the petty jobs. You feel there was a special commission which was set up for them, Justice, I think Sachar, maybe Sachar committee, yeah. And it was long ago. but it has to come out. It is, I just said that this is going to be a very tough decision, and even doing so much, this is a thankless result that we are getting. Why you only find this community as being anti-nationals? Maximum, I'm going to say maximum. I'm not going to say all. Maximum traitors. They're always threatened about it. Today is the 32nd anniversary of Exodus of Kashmir, January 19th, 1990. We all know that what happened. The people, Hindus from Kashmir, became refugees in their own nation. And like, it's means I just see that. And here, how many people were there, the number of population in 1947 of that religion, and how many are they today? And how many Hindus were there in Pakistan, and how many are there today? So that itself is a very big question. We need to have introspection of that and see where we were, where we are, and where we are taking this nation to. Thank you.
Look, how just to mention, Vandanaji, 19th January 90, as you know it, how the Kashmiri Hindus is trying to depict the Kashmiri Pandit, but I am saying Kashmiri Hindus became the homeless, and still they are in different parts of the world, living their life anyhow. And after 2 years of the 370 repeal of the 370, but not normalcy, whatever we can claim is seen at the land of Kashmir, whatever government is claiming. There is also an impact of that Muslim appeasement, how the past government has done for them, but literacy rate is also very low. There is, I think, special politics of the past government. If you let uh, empower them with the knowledge, they will not go according to you. You can't rule them. So, just very briefly, we're going just time is short. The last take I'll take. How do you analyze the situation? Why for Muslim appeasement one? If our country is secular, number one. Number two, why just you see the last list, BJP did not give any single seat to any Muslim, although other parties was trying to give the many seats according to um, equations. So my question, why not any political party or just change their perception? Not Hindu, not Muslim, not caste, all one. Do you think it will stop in the
The
coming days
unfortunate part is that
for the sake of nation development? Will it stop by the all political government for the sake of the uh, development, integrated development of the nation?
now what I'm saying is the unfortunate part is that the development does not win you elections. It is
Okay.
it is like this. You can do whatever you want. You can give them, vaccination. You can give them roads. You can give them cleaner cities. You can give them electricity for 24 hours. You can take the water to the taps. In a country like India in 21st century, in case people are not valuing that, they are more emotionally, you know, uh, upheaved for a certain thing, and that is what gets you election results. So it is not about development. Only development, I think, in India and other parts of the world, probably they'll be considering this. But I don't think only development wins elections for you. This is a truth. This is how it works. So they'll come up with some kind of political gimmick at the times, because if you see, basic amenities like toilets, electricity, water, and in today's era, even internet uh, is not accessible to 100% of the population, which is unfortunate that now that, democracy, which is, let's say, 75 years old, if we have been unable to provide this. This is because we have been more worried about winning elections, and the idea is to win elections not to serve but to fill up your own pockets. This is what has happened. If you look at the political ambience which we have in India, I'm not saying that in other countries it's not like this, but it is shamelessly in favor of people who, over the years, from not having anything, have become billionaires. Or those people who are already billionaires, they have, emerged into something else, because then it is something like you scratch my back and I scratch your back. So unfortunate thing is that, you asking me, will it continue? I think it is going to continue, because there is a nexus between the politicians and the religious, leaders, especially of
Okay.
certain communities where the education levels are very low, and they don't want this to change, because if the Muslims get standard education, an education system which gets them into the mainstream, then they will not be able to control the minds, and that is the reason they want them to keep studying what people were studying, let's say, in the medieval ages, and that's how the
Yeah.
mind was being controlled. And we
Okay.
can talk about Oasis. We should also be talking about people like Arif Muhammad Khan, or other people who are illuminated people. I'm not saying that Muslims should not be given, uh, you know, um, they should not be given candidatures so that they can stand in the elections. But it has to be somebody who's not working for the Muslim, or he doesn't put on a sherwani and a topi and he comes and he tells that I'm going to represent you. What I'm saying is that a person, he should be normal. He should not be hyping up his religion and then representing them as if they are part of the mainstream. So the
Yeah.
problem in all these years has been that they have been alienated. They have been treated as something, they are not Indians. They are Indians, but with inverted commas on top of that. Yes. But it should not be like this. It should
No,
be like,
no, no, no.
anybody and everybody.
Little bit disagree with the argument. They are Indians, but they don't want to call themselves Indians. That is a different perception.
No, there would be a certain, number of people who are like that. But what you cannot do is that, reinforce your personality over that. I think that's the
Right.
reason they are alienated. They are from the mainstream, and which is very unfortunate. I think it is more
Yeah.
unfortunate for them than for the rest of the population. If you see the
Okay.
educated Muslims, you
So
will
so we
find that
so
they
we
are
can
doing
so
as
we can
good as
understand.
anybody else should be doing.
So we can understand whoever the political party is trying to use the Muslim as a vote bank. Now they should open their eyes. Now they will not as much as they will use Muslim as a vote politics, because the awareness is going to be very
So
high
I
in
think I
society.
think if the majority votes unites and they vote, maybe they vote insensibly for some reason, and they
Yeah,
just vote that,
yeah,
okay, we are
yeah,
going to get polarized and we are going to vote only for a certain political party. I
yeah.
think only then will this go away, because
Okay.
then appeasement of the vote bank politics, it could be the Muslims or it could be the Dalits. It'll go away only then.
Okay.
If all, let's say it's an example I'm putting, that all the
So
Hindus, they decide that they will vote
last question
only
with
for
Vandanaji.
BJP or
Please.
for Congress or whatever,
Yeah.
only then will this minority vote politics or the Dalit bank or the caste politics is going to end. Otherwise, I don't think it is going to end.
So Vandanaji, actually, Alokji also not hopeful. I'm also not. Will this the Muslim appeasement politics will be ended in India? Do you think any hope? They will part of the mainstream.
I just said that somebody has to take a strong decision, but who's going to do that? हाँ, ये तो बिल्ली के गले में घंटी बांधने वाली बात है. Who's going to do? Because tough decisions take strong leadership is required to take tough decisions. We do have a leadership, but again, it is not as expected. To be very honest, we have seen it in the very recent what is happening. It should be. I'm not saying about Muslims or Hindus and all. Only the people, those who care for nation. Let this be people,
Yeah,
those who are into politics,
yeah,
from means, and those who are into the film industries, those who are individuals. Like we should have a nationalistic population, those who care for the nation. Means like otherwise, so means we do have animals,
yeah,
those
yeah,
more
yeah.
loyal, than the
yeah,
humans, because they are just wearing a human chola. It's like, you come and speak. We just saw, as you mentioned, about one video about one Maulana, how shameful that is. Like, if I am going to my temple, Alokji, and I'm talking to the priest, that what do we talk to the priest? We always have a respect for a person, that he's on Vyas Gaddi. We treat him, even if he is in an age younger than us, we have a respect because
yeah,
of our belief. But we don't talk anything against the nation. They teach us about our sages,
yeah,
they teach us
yeah,
about our Vedas, they talk to us about our, like, granthas, and they talk to us in case if we have some pain, we share with them. They say, okay, do this mantra, this is for the world peace, do this, do this. We never talked about how to destroy the nation. So how could these clergies be allowed to lead those kind of madrasas? What kind of generation that
yeah,
we are
yeah,
bringing
yeah.
in?
So that's a good decision. It will be lengthy decision. Time is now up now. So in Assam, the Assam government, the new government of the Hemant Biswa, just order the
It
close to
should
all
be
madrasas.
equal. There should not be special, like you are giving money to the people, those who are the madrasa
Yeah, yeah,
guys,
yeah.
but why
Actually,
not
but
to a granthi?
also one important fact I can share with you: last 7 years, whatever has been done by the Modi government to the minorities, especially Muslim, it is totally more than the last more than before 65 years. But still, they are just criticizing. They are just going to against the BG government. This is also ridiculous. So
Same has happened to the people of Punjab.
yeah,
The Modi government has done to the Sikhs
yeah,
overall globally, and they are not
yeah,
thankful. So
yeah,
that is what is a lesson to be learned, because जिसको जिस तरह से treat करना है, treat everybody equally, no special
yeah, yeah.
treatment.
You are right. Yeah. So that is uh, whatever you said. So I think every
Now, what
politician,
Vandana ji is saying is that let's first be Indians and then we become whatever religion we are or whatever
but
caste
again,
or creed we
that Alokji, that perception and that ethos and should be carried forward by the people of the country as well as by the government policies also. Otherwise, nobody is going to just obey your instruction and whatever is there. So something there be some constitutional amendment also.
But
That's
we
why.
just found in Gazipur, there is some device that they found out it could have been blasted. But someone who brought this to that place from Pakistan, it was made in Pakistan. So somebody did adharma. Let this be a common
And
individual.
we'll have
Let
to
this,
train this is a joint effort, Vandanaji. This is not a
yeah,
single effort from this is a joint effort of every community.
yeah.
Then and whatever they have just doing the community only the increase the number of child. This is also not a way. So I think we should think, and everyone Indians should be think, and with the community leaders of the water colors, they also have to think for the development of their own community. Otherwise, it is going on like that, and whatever they're trying to make. As we know the facts, so nobody has courage to power to say any things in China and Middle East countries, whatever they are just enjoying in India. So Muslim politics will take that. I think hope that they are now aware of the all man facts, and education is also is growing in the society. So nice of you just you join the show, and we'll take up the next issue for this seeing the election. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.